Hi, today I'm showing you how to create this beautiful grass you're seeing right now in your screen. We'll use Blender, Substance Painter, and Unreal Engine 4. Let's do it! At the bottom left corner of the screen you'll be able to see the keys I'm pressing. However, unfortunately, the software is displaying the combination of Shift plus a letter as the capital letter, so please keep that in mind. Anyway, let's start by creating a new general file, and I'll delete the cube right away. Press Shift A to add a plane and rotate it about the x-axis by 90 degrees, using the shortcut RX90. We'll turn this plane into a grass blade, so go into the front view and scale it in the x-axis. Now press Tab to go into edit mode and add a loop cut using Ctrl R. And delete the right side of the plane. Use Ctrl R again to create new loop cuts in the other direction. Next, let's add two modifiers. The first one will be a mirror and the second one a solidify. Don't forget to turn on clipping in the mirror modifier. Let's start shaping this thing by moving this vertex up and adding a subdivision modifier. Now that I'm seeing this, it makes more sense to have the solidify modifier at the bottom, so let's move it. Much better. Now, let's increase the number of subdivisions in the viewport, like so. Grass blades tend to be pointier, so let me move this vertex even higher. And the one that's below a little bit lower. I'll add a new loop cut near the bottom to make it a little bit more square. Alright, looking good so far. Let's mark a middle line along the geometry by selecting all the left-hand side vertices and moving them forward. Switch to Edge Selection mode by pressing 2 and select the middle line using Alt and left click. Right click in the selection and select Mark Sharp. Go into the Mesh panel and under Normals, select Auto Smooth. Now go into Object mode and right click on the object and select Shade Smooth. The center line should now be nice and sharp. I'll adjust the side vertices once again, and since the effect is a bit too strong, I'll add a new vertical loop cut to act as a middle ground. Adjust both of the vertical edges until you feel satisfied with your blade's shape. Okay, so I'm feeling fairly happy with how this blade turns out, so I'm gonna move it off to the side and we'll use it as a base to create our grass. The idea is to create a fairly detailed cluster of grass by duplicating this blade and transforming it. This will be our high poly mesh, and then we'll project it into a plane which will act as our low poly mesh. So go ahead and create a plane and rotate it about the x-axis using RX90. Go into the front view and duplicate our base mesh. Move it so it is approximately at the center of the plane and a little bit below it, because we don't want to catch the base of the blade when we bake our textures. Okay, so this part mainly depends on your creativity. I can't tell you an exact process, but I can give you a general idea of what I did. Okay, so you want your grass to look as organic and random as possible, as opposed to handmade and artificial. And I achieved this by adding grass at different positions, with different scales, and applying different transforms to them, like twists and bends all over the place. You can go into edit mode and select some of the top vertices and move them forward or backwards to add some interesting bends. You can also use the Simple Deform modifier to add twists to your blades. You should also play with the scale because having multiple blades of the same size will look really bad. You can also play with the Y position and rotate the blades so you cover any major gaps you find. And just try to have fun! Okay, so this is what I came up with. We're almost done with this part, so let me save my file and then let me move all these blades into a new collection. Next, select your low poly mesh, aka the plane, and go into edit mode and add a few loop cuts so it ends up with 4 sections. They will be useful when we animate the grass in Unreal Engine. Now select all your blades and use Ctrl J to join them into a single object. Now we need to add a material to our high poly mesh. This step is key because it will allow us to configure the opacity inside Substance Painter correctly. So go to the Materials tab and add a new material, and just select a random base color. Now a quick side note, I forgot to record this part, but you gotta select both meshes separately and hit Ctrl A all transforms to apply all the transforms. And with that said, you're ready to export the meshes, so select each mesh and go into File, Export, FBX. Then tick Selected Objects and in Object Types select Only Mesh. Export both the high poly and low poly meshes. And with all that done, I think this is a good point to stop this video. In the next part, we're gonna go into Substance Painter and I'll show you how to set up the opacity and how to paint your grass. Now, a quick disclaimer. I know everything can be done inside Blender and Substance Painter isn't really required. However, I really like the mask and layer system inside Substance Painter. It will make our life so much easier. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're looking forward to the next part. I know I am. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found useful information, and I leave links to my social media so you can follow me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.